Peace, power, and ascension, black family. I decided to do this last live stream from this page. Uh, Mainly because I just woke up a while ago. Got me a cup of coffee and some hot chocolate mix. And I decided to try to find something to watch, and I came across on YouTube. I came across Nature Boy and Troubles in Paradise. Just so happened to pop up. First thing I saw was the John. Somebody posted a video of Eliana, and I believe the other chick name was Keisha or some shit. I don't really know. Posted them, I guess sucking Nature Boy dick or something. Made a movie. Took my goddamn ideas, but I ain't see nothing wrong with that. But niggas just going in on it, and everybody on the comment section was snapping on that shit. So I decided to go ahead and see what the fuck was going on. What they talked about. Read the comment section, and wasn't feeling the comment section on this video. So then I said, all right, well, let me go find something else to watch because, me, I'm going to be the type motherfucker to go and start trying to find a goddamn movie somewhere on one of these porno sites. So I decided to check out another Nature Boy video, and motherfucking talking about, it was, I guess Eliana was on there talking about she ready to skate on him and shit. She don't want to be with him no more. She taking the baby, disappearing, going to the embassy and get papers for the baby, all types of shit. So I was like, yo, I'm sitting here peeping, Nature Boy trying to, Carbon Nation reason with her, and she just ain't hearing none of that shit. She just like, she gonna do her own little one too. So a lot of interesting parallels between what I went through with you know who and what they going through right now, what he's going through right now. So I decided to, that warrants a discussion. I see some discussion points in there, and a lot of people post things that bear no merit to me at all. I don't really give a fuck about it. They be deep as a motherfucker and going in on these shits, and everybody be wild and I'm shocked and amazed, and I just be like, whatever. But and usually nature, I feel the same way about Nature Boy shit too. So I decided, I was like, I've been dropping comments on they posts and videos for a couple of years now. And I've been seeing people coming and going and all that shit, and I ain't really had two shits to say about anything, no fucks to give. I'm like, yo, that's their thing. They signed up for that, They should have seen the traps ahead of time, because I see all everybody's traps before I even engage them. And I sometimes I just choose to, see how the trap work on me. So, I'm going to discuss that, but I'm going to talk about me first, and foremost, because I am that I am, and I am all. So, y'all going to have to forgive me. I ain't brushed my teeth or nothing yet. I just got up, made some coffee, came back to bed. So, that being said, I've been going through some emotional joints, not even dealing with, I'm not even talking about, who. I'm just going to talk about me and, unless it's relevant when I get into that Nature Boy shit. But what happened was, I've been going through shit where I've been trying to assert my sovereignty and protect my sovereignty and make sure that my land, air, water, and space gets respected and all of that. And, the police don't like it, judges don't like it, family don't like it, friends don't like it, drug dealers don't like it, junkies don't like it. Like, this sovereignty talk is not a vibe that people is on. This trying to be free is not a vibe that motherfuckers is really with. Most people is not with the shits about real freedom, real sovereignty, and all that type of shit. Especially when you start bringing up legalisms and all that. So what happened was, with me doing what I'm doing, and pretty much I got white bald, not black bald. I got white bald. And by white balled, I mean like in the game of pool, being blackballed would mean you're like the eight ball in the game. That wasn't the case. I was white balled. White balled mean I was there was aggression. Everything that I was going through was somebody with an agent mentality aggressing against me. So if y'all seen the videos, I believe the one with the police talking to me and reading off and coming to give me the paperwork to kick me out of my family home in Mesa, Arizona, apartment 203, Country Club Drive. I ended up being homeless, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of y'all don't know that because I communicated with only a few people, and then I went through some other shit. But I was homeless and really like living in alleys, all that type shit, and riding with people that I met. Pretty much everybody that I met from the employment that I had out there, working at a gas station and shit on a graveyard shift. So that was pretty much the circle of people I had around me, because I didn't know what the fuck how to live or operate in them streets out there. I didn't know what the lay was, what the politics was out there. So I just started rocking with the people that I knew that was already homeless. So what happened was that that I started trying to educate people, and I educated people by stepping into the dark side and into the shadow world with them of their own selves, and trying to really bring out the best of people while going through the experiences with them that they was going through, experiencing their realities with them while, and what took place was that I became, we destabilized the balance of power, I would say. I simplify it like that. The balance of power was changed out there in the streets of Mesa, Arizona, and it was felt all the way up to the political structure and things like that, and probation and parole, police officers, and I was getting pulled over and recorded the shit, and I was asked not to post the video because it included people that was on probation and parole, and all of us was dirty and not getting checked or searched, and all of us having drugs or drug paraphernalia on us and still being let go. No matter how fucked up the circumstances was, when we was getting pulled over by the police and shit, ran down on by the police, banned from dinner everywhere in the vicinity. At least I was. All the stores and trailer court and apartments, and like I was getting banned from everywhere. So being on top of being homeless and not knowing where I was and being far away from family, like I'm family over the East Coast, so I was out there and couldn't get no straps, couldn't get no work, couldn't get fronted nothing, couldn't do shit. It was straight white ball. So what took place was I just motherfucking was getting super lit and started to be more attentive of the politics, street politics, which included, pretty much boiled down to, Mormons, because Mormons are organized crime family, like the mafia. In out there in Arizona, from Arizona all the way to Central America, Mormons are just as big as the cartels and operating with government support. So I was going through it with, Mormons, militiamen. For those of y'all that don't know what that is, you can just look it up. They pretty much don't like what they consider to be all foreigners and blacks. It was the Aryan Brotherhood motherfuckers out there. It was the Mexican, Spanish cartel gang / whatever the fuck you want to call them. Then they got this thing down south they call the kinfolk, which is pretty much the black gangs all united under one umbrella that they classify as kinfolk. I was going through it. It was all of them, along with the police and U.S. Marshals, all working together, investigating me. Not only that, they subjected all the businesses around there to pretty much turn against me or be used against me in all types of ways. Recording me, watching me, setting up surveillance, large-scale surveillance operations, all in the vicinity of everywhere where I traveled. And, so I made sure I never drove anywhere. I didn't walk anywhere. I traveled everywhere I went, which could include multiple different methods of traveling. And I did a lot of shadow walking. So what took place was I pretty much developed a lot of enemies that was in high places, and they wasn't feeling, what I was doing out there for the people, the regular people out there, what I was educating, my educiating, talking that sovereignty talk and the freedom and fearlessness, all that type of stuff, same shit. Like I live everything that you see me comment, post about. I live that shit. This little black dusty nigga, the run of my family. I really live that shit I talk about. I ain't just out. I don't be posting memes and commenting and making live streams and for intellectual masturbation. Y'all already know that. So I was really going through the shits and I was really with the shits. So pretty much got to the point where the community started working against me. Getting paid off to set me up, line me up, all types of stuff. So boil down to it, we get to the point where I'm at now. And on top of me, my cars are getting shut down and I could not accessing my own accounts. My taxes got taken from me for some old for business management and accounting school courses that I did online a few years ago, and which I dropped out of because I told them I wasn't learning anything. They was recycling lessons and repackaging assignments and stuff like that. So I told them like I haven't learned anything since I've been attending your online courses for business management and accounting. So I wanted to relocate school, transfer to a different school, college that I could physically go to and examine, what they have to offer. Instead of doing some online shit, they wasn't with it. They said they don't do that, and well now they said they don't do that. But at that time they did. But they said like, yo, before we transfer, you got to pay us. So it's long story short, they pretty much took my tax return this year. Like they say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, right? That Juno Moneta do not belong to Caesar though. So that's why they trying to take us off greenbacks and shit, and any type of trade or economics that where the medium of trade deal is coming from something that's extracted from mama, because that means that belongs to Juno Moneta, not Caesar, any metals or anything like that. So that's why they're trying to take everything back to electrical transfer, because that L frequency deals with, patriarchal energies. No doubt. Fuck that matrix. So boil down to that, I get out here to where I'm at now, which I'm not going to mention because of the stalkers that I have. But y'all can check me out on my other page where I'm more, open with some shit. But so I get out here, find out my taxes get taken. They procrastinate. I get suspended from the job last week that I was working at, which is I work at a BMW training center, and I'm just the motherfucking cleanup guy. So I get suspended from my job due to my background check from my robbery, assault, burglary, and criminal mischief charge from when I was 17. So I'm like, yo, I call the place that does the background checks. I call the job. I call the employer. I call which is a subcontracting company, and I call the company that owns them, and let them know how I feel. Like, I should be examined by humans that have human empathies and sympathies rather than be calculated by robots and technology, because if we leave everything up to Terminator, we'll end up being in the motherfucking Matrix movie, real life, for real, where all of us is hooked up to some motherfucking technological prison or 5G network, 6G. Well, they eventually gets to 10G is when you hit 8 and 9G, that's when we actually living in a physical prison like you see in the movie The Matrix. So right now they got us up to 5G. Military is using 7G, or I believe 7G, and working on 8G. Broadband, fiber optic broadband network, all that type shit. That's where you see all these pretty videos that everybody can make, and they're getting all your facial algorithms and shit from all your little emojis or whatever the fuck they're using, whatever that shit called on Facebook and social media, where y'all be putting rabbit ears and cat ears and dog faces and shit That's all facial recognition technology used by the military and the government to see you under your different faces that you have, and the different faces that you can make, in the way that you in different ways that you can alter your appearance. So yeah, let me stay off 5G and stick to the script. But pretty much what happened was I got suspended, and I got whiteballed. The background check came back with all kind of crazy stuff on there, shit that I didn't even go through. Popped up on my background check, and so I contended that shit just off the strength of like, yo. At first, I got to the point where 2 days ago, I had all my shit packed. Y'all can see my room is fucked up right now. Like I had all my shit packed up. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go into motherfucking blue area, stalk somebody all motherfucking day, take some shit, come back, get my bags, and skate. Pay everybody that I feel like this something, and I'm going to the jungle. This was just 2 days ago, and I was like ready to take it there because of all this shit that been going on with me. Not only that, I had a KPS out for my arrest back in the 302 area, Delaware. They suspended. I just tried to get a license or ID because I haven't had a license or ID for a while now, or anything. I never had a license before. Haven't had a valid ID for a while, a couple years now. So they pretty much was like, yo, they motherfucker taking your Delaware issued a national thing for nobody to issue me an ID or a license until I paid them some money for some driving tickets I got a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Being free. And they was like, yo. So these places pretty much agreed to it. So they revoked my temporary ID that I had. Refused to give me a license. I couldn't operate, do shit. So I'm like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't paying shit. I told them, catch me if you can. And I mean, ready to go to war with the system officially. Nobody, of course, I'm hitting up people for straps and all kind of shit. Nobody want to break me off. Everybody like they ain't getting my phone call and they're not seeing my text messages and all that shit, family included. So I was like, yo, listen, I got to make a move and make it soon. And I'm trying to make it happen within 24 hours. So I get to the point where I'm just like, yo, I can't. So my cousin pretty much paid off my fine and motherfucking. Then they said that I gotta pay to have my fucking suspension lifted. Peace. I see you. Much love, both of y'all. And I had to pay to get I had to pay the fine off that I already paid before I left Delaware. And then I had to pay them to lift the motherfucking suspension on my license. I'm like, what the fuck I got paid for you to push a goddamn button for? So I told them bitches, man, I ain't paying y'all motherfuckers nothing, but, cousin came through, paid it off. Then what happens is my fucking my phone is getting turned off. And motherfucking, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is everything happening to me all at once? I mean, like this week, everything. And so my fucking sister came through. Sister been coming through for me. Paid. Oh yeah, check her out. She do her Herbalife hustle, and she got some other type shit, and she sell bundles of hair for y'all that's into that type shit. So motherfucking Candace Winder, and check my other sister out, Rochelle Denise. She do the music thing. So I'm like, so then my sister come through, pay my phone bill for her. They like, yo, just chill, stay still, don't go nowhere, don't fuck it up. So I'm just like, yo, I already know about the Herbalife. So then I go to motherfucking try to what else happened? So then I'm like, yo, I owe my people money, even though they said I don't need to pay them and all that type of shit. I'm like, yo, I owe them money. I ain't getting no peace around here. I ain't feeling what the fuck going on. I don't know how y'all do this legal shit. They like, yo, where you been at? You don't know about this, and that. I said, man, shit, I've been out this motherfucker being free. and sovereign and not giving a fuck about legalisms and all that type shit. So I come back and really gotta start getting back into working at jobs and grinding out on some legal shit. I'm like, yo, how the fuck do y'all do this and be okay with it? Like, it's a fucking prison being constructed around y'all, a brick every day, and y'all don't even see it. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, yo, and y'all got, listen, I'm just ready to go yard, get in my bag with some shit. So what happened was, pretty much, I'm like, yo, I'm still ready to sneak the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna make them think I'm chilling. I'm gonna wait till it get dark, and I'm gonna slide off and motherfucking bust a move. So I'm ready to just go bop somebody over the head real quick and take. I mean, what I was gonna do is go out there and make myself look like I'm a victim, and was helpless and weak, homeless nigga from out of town. And the first motherfucker that tried to slide up on me and rob me and shit, or try to hustle me or whatever like that, I was gonna bop them over the head and take whatever they got. And I was just gonna go out there and finessing niggas all night out here. So I ended up talking to a couple of people. Shout out to Isis and Crystal. They talked to me like, I mean, when I say all night, I mean I went from talking to Isis for a few hours to talking to Crystal for like 5 hours. And pretty much at the end of that, it got down to where I'm like, yo, I'm laying on the motherfucking bedroom floor, knocked the fuck out, sleep, tired as a motherfucker. So I never went out. Not only that, the next fucking day, the guy at the job called me back, said, oh yeah, they said that you can come back to work. Yeah, the suspension is lifted and all that type shit. So then somebody hit me up from the college talking about they're going to try to help me get my tax return back from the college because they shouldn't have took it. So I'm like, all right, it is what it is. But y'all better get that shit right before I get the motherfucking means to pop up in Ohio and come take my shit back from y'all. And I don't want to discuss this no more with y'all. So that's how I left it. Told them stop sending me emails, all that shit. So now, this is where it's at. And my family, I'm going through all types of fuck shit with my family and some land that my family owns out in Delaware. Laurel, Trap Pond State Road. Yeah, all types of fuck shit going on there. So I was trying to get on the land so I could farm and cultivate the land because we don't need to work. You know what I mean? I know how to farm and all that type shit. You know what I mean? Know how to protect some shit very well also. And I know how to tell a motherfucker no. But they not. But my family all bougie and legal and Christians, and so I got to deal with the fuckery of my own bloodline. This is why I'm trying to get on this all blood circle. Oh yeah, the magic is gonna be put on. I'm trying to wait for the perfect time and get some shit right now so I can do a ritual out there in the fire pit in the backyard. So I'm great. That's gonna be the ritual that I do on live stream, so let everybody see it because I break all fucking rules and everybody say, "Oh, you shouldn't let people see your rituals and see your altars and do this and do that." And I'm like, man, well, whatever you tell me that I shouldn't do and I can't do, and the limitations of my abilities and powers and what won't be allowed by the magic, I'm gonna step my black ass right past that motherfucking line, and they're a motherfucker that act like they want this work. So ancestors included. You know what I mean? They ain't been rocking with me doing shit that I need done. And most of us need done. So as far as I'm concerned, motherfucker, the ancestors can sit back and shut the fuck up and let us true and living beings do the work that we gotta do for us. So I'm like, we out here, I'm on my ancient future shit. And motherfucking, they like, well, pretty much it boils down to, you know, I ain't gonna bring up what I've been going through, the baby mama drama. That's a whole nother issue that I don't even want to touch on no more. I'm not giving my energy to nobody, but I will eat all that loose up. All that loose I'm getting from all the baby mama drama and everybody that's supporting her. Oh, I'm eating all that up. That's what I'm using to charge myself up, so I can, so this black diamond can activate during this ritual and be powerful. So what happens now is I'm pretty much on my grind. This Juno Moneto, I'm on the Juno Moneto spirit vibe, which is feminine, but I believe they try to masculate it. I'm on my what is it, Geechee Geechee Mantu or Manato, some shit like that, which is the great spirit god of native ancestry. That Geechee Mantu or Mintu or Manatu, I forgot exactly how to pronounce it, because she got like thousands of names, but it's the mother, great mother spirit, the great spirit god, or whatever they want to call it, which they have now made masculine since they done subjected themselves to reservations. Oh yeah, that's another thing that was going on out there in Arizona. The natives out there, I was fucking with the natives hard body. The ones on that live on reservations, the ones that's come from the bloodlines that sold us out, and concocted this story about us being on slave ships with the Caucasoids, and when actually we are those original people, and they pretty much part of that deal that they made in order for their lives to be saved. They got reservations, and that was supposed to be, that's really our 40 acres and a mule, and that's why we didn't get 40 acres and a mule shit. So I was fucking with the natives out there real heavy. The Navajo, the Dene, and who else was it? Mainly it was the Navajo that was out there hard body, and I met like a couple Apaches. All of them is just motherfucking. All the natives is just motherfucking alcoholic meth heads and shit. Them niggas ain't even about that life at all. They women, I done see they women is out there bitch thotting real heavy. Like they trying their best to be Americanized. Like they don't, and all of their ancient stories and their shamans and real spirit workers and shit is all in hiding on the reservations, not leaving the reservation, so they don't know what they people are really doing out here, but they don't fuck with them. Like if they once they come out here to the world, they become Americanized and shit. The spiritual guides and shit don't fuck with them. The ones that you see out here walking around in the streets and chilling and working and having jobs, the shamans and medicine men don't fuck with them. They're not even allowed to come talk to them. Like they want to go to the med. They're not even allowed to go talk to the medicine men and all. They don't have no power, no say so in councils or none of that shit. If you see any natives out here Americanized, they have no power. I learned all that shit when I was out there dealing with them. And I was fucking with I think it was the Navajo. I'm not sure if it was Navajo, but wherever John Wayne made his movies at. John Wayne made his movies on some mountains. A lot of his movies made by mountains and by this little desert looking area. Well, whatever natives those was, I forgot. I got it. I think it's like Stone Mountain or some shit. Those natives, I actually got a motherfucking pass. Like when I start my family, this blood circle that I'm trying to do, they said like, yo, we gonna show y'all some love and respect, because I was the only one that they said it's people that got that natives that leave the reservations just to go meet other people that claim to be natives and see how they living out here in the world. And they chill with them for like a week or two and shit, and just going around to different places where they say that other natives are, just to get a report of what's going on out here with their people. And then they go back to the reservation and report back to the people that never leave the reservations, that have never left the reservations. So the Bulls, I met like one of the top killers of such and such place. I'm not gonna say certain shit, and his young English interpreter. Late night bus stop type shit. They on their way back after being out here for a couple of weeks. They said the only thing, I broke them off, kicked it with them about their ancestry and prophecies and the exile warriors and all the archetypes that have yet to been fulfilled and manifested in this land. And he was like, yo. And then I broke them up. I gave them some weed and shit for free. And they was like, yo, since we've been out here, we done met all our people in this area that claim to be one of us and of other nations. But you the first one that gave us anything besides alcohol and talked to us about anything more than having fun and, basic native shit. Like I actually went into the deep shit with them, shit that they don't, they assume that nobody knows about. They said, you the first one that did this. That gave us some shit that without expectations, and talk to us about the things that you talked about. It's like we surprised. I mean, and the guy that didn't speak English was telling this motherfucker was like, I called him bear paws. I told my motherfucker had probably hands big as my goddamn head, could just grip my face and shit like a basketball type shit. But he was probably about the same height as me, and my hands ain't even that big. Like this nigga shit probably could wrap up around my motherfucking head. Fingers probably about thick as two of my fingers. You know what I mean? And just a short, quiet dude though, straight killer. And I was like, yo, and he was like, yo, you the whatever you trying to do out here. So I mean, a couple of us we done heard about you from a couple of people. Whenever you get things started, whatever you trying to do, man, I mean, you can come through and he said some shit. He'll do some shit which pretty much amounted to they'll co-sign me because you know you can't go out here to these natives reservations and shit. These real ones, like you go out there when the sun go down, they gonna use you for a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because they need more powerful sacrifices, and human sacrifices are hard to come by because they gotta get you out of there, and they not really into snatching people up outside of the reservation. So it was like, yo, you go on any of these reservations, the real ones, you got to get co-signed to be out there. You can't just pop up, or they gonna, I mean, use you for a sacrifice. Because they got the thing that they call the White Walkers, and the White Walkers is pretty much no white people allowed out that motherfucker. No matter if you get co-signed or not, you getting fucking used as a sacrifice. Even if you like high yellow, you might get sacrificed if they don't know that you not white or not Caucasoid. They're going to use you for a sacrifice. They're going to consider you as a White Walker, which is part of their spirituality, and they're allowed to do that. And the police, everybody know about this shit. Everybody. So it's just normal. Like, don't go out there unless you out there and they know you out there and you get invited and got a pass. So I pretty much got that confirmation, got that pass, and I told them that I'm gonna have an all family blood circle. And so they was like, yeah, we gonna be looking for you. They was gonna tell their people about me. So I never went out there anyway. I plan on going out there some other time, but I wasn't ready. I ain't have nothing started. I just got kicked out of my home. I was homeless at the time. I was homeless in Arizona for like a month, maybe a month and a half, and nobody knew it. You know what I mean? Until I started being out there and spazzing the fuck out. I went through some shit. I had to turn up. Motherfuckers tried to body me like 5 times out that bitch. And I just turned all the way the fuck up and got real, real militant, I'll say, and real directly confrontational with everybody. I don't give a fuck if you walk past me on the sidewalk. You gotta step into the road because you within arm reach. I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And so I had to get the fuck out of there because it was coming to that boiling point, and I know I was not ready. And shit, just let me get off of that. And yeah, the people still need me for some other shit. But yeah. So I come out here now. Here I am doing what I do. I'm ready to build up, stack this Juno Moneto toy, which they call money, and try to build some shit with it, buy some land somewhere else and do some shit. But lo and behold, this is where I'm at with it. And I'm okay with where I'm at now. But it's a lot of shit that I gotta address this, which I'm gonna be doing in my live streams from my other page. So inbox me if y'all want to get on my other page. And I got a new group that's already created, and I haven't only added one person because I had to create the group. But as soon as I start doing my live streams from the group, I'm gonna open it up to other people. But now, what really made me feel like I needed to talk and get on here was Nature Boy shit. So Nature Boy going through the same exact shit that I went through. He's going through with Eliana right now. The difference between me and him is I've been straight divine matriarch trying to get the black woman to stand up and do what she need to do so that I can do what I need to do. Peace, Phoenix, I see you. And I've been trying to get the black woman, the sisterhood, to unify, and not just on social media, but actually physically meet each other and plan some shit out so that us righteous patriarchs can do what we need to do for y'all, because everything is based around y'all, that feminine energy. You are X chromosome, X marks the spot. You are the spot. You are the motherfucking cornerstone of all this shit. Just like what I went through with the hospital kicking me out when my baby was born. The only reason they was able to do anything that they was able to do was because my matriarch co-signed it. My matriarch activated it. She allowed it. She permitted it, and they kept saying, "We don't need him. We don't need him. All they got to do, if you say this, things can happen. If you do this, things can happen. We can get him out of this equation, but it has to happen through you, the woman." Why do they need that if the legal system is so powerful? And so, because the legal system, ultimately they operate off of structure, they operate off of order, they operate off of rules and regulations that they have established for themselves since the fucking rise of England and Rome and Europe and shit. Everything with them is about science. Everything has mathematics. Science and mathematics is the only way that they can continue their alchemical manipulations. They need science and mathematics. This is why I tell people stay away from science and mathematics unless you're trying to rule over that shit. Fuck the zodiacs. I talk that Scorpio shit and that Phoenix energy, because of the archetypes. But I'm not ruled by that. Zodiac represents your animality. If you don't rise above your animality and master your animality, you become the puppet master of your animality, then you will be the animal. You will be ruled by that animality, become encased and become in a stasis in which you are subjected to all the numerology that they put on you in the code, the light codes that they have attached to your animality. You will be that and be predictable. Not only be predictable, be manipulated. Manipulated. No, that's not even a word, but fuck it. You will be manipulatable. Yeah, I like that word. You will be manipulatable. And according to the light codes. This is why I talk about that dark shit all the time. Step into your darkness, step into the dark side, shadow walk, because it is in darkness where there is no code, there is no structure, there in blackness and darkness, in the nothingness of thyself. In the nothingness of I am, there is no mathematical elixirs. There is no math. Math is created as a stamp on the energy that is being emitted out of darkness. When it comes out, there's somebody standing here saying that we could call legal system or legalese, saying, okay, that's 361, that's 515, that's 0146. That's at every emission of darkness that when it's being transmuted into light frequencies in order to try to elevate light to darkness, because light is your lower self, darkness is your higher self, or light is your outwardly perceptual self. Darkness is the depths within, and so the light codes this is why you have the Illuminati and illumination and all that type of shit. You say, oh yeah, they deal with that light shit, they light workers and light codes, and they're the Illuminati. But then when you find out what is the Illuminati secretly doing for them to have occultism to exist, they're working with darkness. They're operating with your darkness. They're working with your darkness to manipulate the reality of the mirages, of the light codes, of the illuminations that you see when you see darkness in its static form, which is what all this shit is. Everything. So what happens is that you need to ultimately, you got to step into the darkness to the point, but a lot of people fear that because it's so unstable. It's unstable because it's unstasis. It's non-stasis form. It's your non-stasis reality. It's your monster, your moon star, your true self. Your who you are without all of the beauty and the melanin and the big lips and the big noses and the chest hair and the locks. Who are you beyond that? What are you beyond that? You might just have a fucking giraffe neck with a lion head and some motherfucking monkey balls and motherfucking skin like a fish. You know what I mean? And one foot looked like a bear foot, and the other one is a tiger foot, and you know what I mean? You might got a lizard tail, and you know what I mean, and got the tongue of a fucking hippopotamus. You know what I mean? Depending on your light codes, the archetypes of the codes. What is the animality of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Each one has an animality. Not only that, with the mathematics of Caucasoids, we got negative numerology, and we have fractional numerology or fractured numerology, which deal with fractal codes, which deal with facets and all that type of shit. So who are, you know what I mean? So this all becomes your true forms, depending on how much of this you have received and accepted into your I am. And most of you have accepted all of it because you live completely legal lifestyles with maybe a hint of illegalisms in that. And the only thing that you do illegal is some type of vice or addiction that's actually, you know what I mean, some more animal minded shit. So that being said, and I believe I just got way off of what I was really supposed to be talking about. Yeah, let me get back to Nature Boy shit. So yeah, Nature Boy. I'll talk to you about all that type shit when we get into the group that I mean, First Eye Open, which is a secret group right now, so don't try to find it. Um, but inbox me if you want to get on it, because that's the next wave. I mean, since I keep hearing so much recycled shit out here, I'm gonna go ahead and put the next wave out here for everybody. You know what I mean? And let everybody transmute that in according to their discipline or their I am or their reality that they trying to emit within their light codes. But I'm telling you right now, I deal straight with darkness. I don't want to see no fucking natal charts and none of that shit. I don't care about, like, yeah. So boom, Nature Boy shit. When Nature Boy happened, pretty much Eliana's talking about she ready to go. The reason why Nature Boy just got everybody cut their fucking hair off and all that type of shit. I don't know why they did that. They like the fucking story of who was it, Solomon cutting his hair off and shit. Not Solomon, but Samson. That was a fucking archetypal story right there. You should already knew you would have lost your power once you got everybody cut their fucking hair off and conform to you. I knew it was going a downhill battle when Nature Boy fucked up when he first talked to King Noble. I respect King Noble, but I'm not with the patriarchal supremacy shit. And that's the only flaw that I feel in King Noble. That's not a deep enough flaw for me, in my perception, for me to not want to rock with King Noble. You know what I mean? And there's all the master teachers that's out here, he got to be the highest one. If I had to put anybody through classisms and all that type of shit, he's the highest class one I've seen out here among all these people that online teach. King Noble, Black Supremacy. Now with motherfucking Nature Boy, oh yeah, I respect a few other people too, but with Nature Boy shit, his Eliana talking about leaving him and shit. She talking about she ready to be done with him. She don't want to be his wife no more. She taking her baby. She leaving. She don't give a fuck how he feel, and that's pretty much how I feel. She's like the female version of how I feel. Like where once I make that decision, I don't give a fuck. You can fuck you, your feelings, and your mom, your family, and all types of other shit. So I was like, and that's pretty much what I was seeing on that video I just watched on YouTube this morning. She was pretty much like, yo, I don't give a fuck how you feel, what you think. I'm gone no matter what the fuck you got to say. I don't give a fuck how you feel. And Nature Boy trying his best to hold his composure. And I know really he just ready to tee off on her ass. Like man, wait till these motherfucking cameras get off. But me, I'm the kind of motherfucker I would do all. Whatever the fuck I do that shit on camera, on whatever. You can record me. I don't give a fuck. Like I am who I am. I ain't never had a problem admitting who I was, what I'm about, what I will do, what I won't do. Like I'm not scared of nobody or nothing, and I don't care what anybody thinks of me. You know what I mean? I just make sure that I represent myself the way as long as I represent myself the way I want to be represented, and the way, which is exactly the way that I truly am, flaws and all. I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. No, how nobody feels. I mean, except for the people that I care how they think it feels. The people I love and I see just as real as I am with the shits. If y'all motherfuckers out here and y'all high and all we see is the good side and the humble side and the quiet side and that and all we ever see of you is I'm leveled up or first eye. I got my no, y'all don't even say first eye. Y'all deal with y'all third eye. So the third eye manipulation, as I call it. So y'all like, oh, I got my third eye open and my chakras lined up and all that. If y'all on that vibe and that's all we see in that Erykah Badu music, then I know you're a fucking fraud. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no fucking way. And all you see is all the good shit in your life, and you don't see no flaws, no missteps. You don't see no, and you ain't got no opposition to you, niggas. You ain't. That means you rocking with you with the program. You doing everything according to the program. You're a robot. You're properly programmed. I don't give a fuck if you're spiritual, religious with it, or you're you know, you lost in the sauce. Drip. So this is what I see. If you can't really if your worst self has not been seen or not been experienced publicly, and nobody knows the worst of you, and most of y'all haven't seen it because because it hasn't been necessary. But if you don't go through shit and people know about the shit you go through, but you always posting your lives. I mean, not your lives, but yeah, your life, and it's too glossed over. It's too shiny and too illuminated. All we see is the light show, the acting. Then most likely you are not trustworthy, because once you step into your darkness and you really have, especially you fucking with me, I'm gonna make you do that shit. If you're around me, I will make you step into your dark side. It's like it's no way that you can resist it, because you're just gonna either stay the fuck away from me, or you're gonna jump, or you're gonna motherfucker enjoy the ride. And because a lot of y'all got some beautiful dark sides and you just don't know it yet, because you're so pure. You got pure intentions and pure souls. You truly do have ultimately good beyond your light show, but that dark good and righteousness, divine nature that you are, has no counterparts in all of this illumination. And because it has no counterparts, you will become you will step into the archetypal nature of the exiled warrior and the wounded healer, and you know what I mean, the sound silent one, and all that type of shit. You'll start to be everything that's pretty much program rejected. You know what I mean? And you will almost feel, as far as illumination go, they'll start to make you, the people that are illuminated robots, robotic slaves, will make you feel as though you out of date, or you washed up, or your ideals are obsolete or too archaic. And they'll make you feel like, you know what I mean, like you tripping or some shit. Like you just need to get with the shits and deal with reality, and you're not really dealing with reality, when in actuality they just fucking running off a program. They're just like Zion. They thinking they in Zion, and they don't realize Zion is another fucking program. They thinking they stepping into a heavenly state of good and shit flowing good, and they know what they doing, and they got a artful mastery of both sides of life, of the illegal and legal shit, and or of the good and the bad shit, and or they know how to finesse the system. And actually, no, you're not really finessing. You ain't in Zion. You're Zion. Fuck your Zion. Fuck heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. Why? Because every guy that ever talk about heaven talk about nigga gotta follow they goddamn rules, and I ain't with the shits. If I can't be free and sovereign in your heaven, I don't want to be there. If I can't be a God like you, be one with God, be of one mind, I don't want to be in your heaven. I don't want to be in that heaven with you. If God can't the God that talks about heaven and divine states and shit can't motherfucking get the shit fixed that's down here that motherfucker created, then nah, nigga, I don't fuck your heaven and your hell. And that's where I'm at with it. I just want the motherfucking, oh yeah. Where the fuck is it? Hold on. This is diatomaceous earth, food grade. This is what I've been drinking for my cleanse. And I told my cousin I'm really trying to quit smoking cigarettes and cigars today. So I've been drinking this diatomaceous earth, food grade. They do have the non-food grade one that's pesticides, pretty much, and it's dry as fuck. If you want to get it, the first thing I'll tell you is advice: don't breathe the dust in. The dust is so dry, you can breathe it in and it fucking turn your lungs to paper. If you breathe too much of it in, like flop it up or some shit, you happen to be inside a dust cloud. This is diatomaceous earth, food grade. I'm using it as a cleanse. My cousin's been using it. So they just turned me on to it. And this is the only thing I have around right now as far as the closest thing to a detox. So that's what I'm working with. Trying to cleanse myself out. Because I've been going dick hard on motherfucking intoxications and motherfucking just smoking my fucking brains out and, you know what I mean, trying to stay calm and at peace and level and shit and not snap the fuck out like I really desire to. And I mean, cause that shit feels so good. But yeah, but Nature Boy going through the problem I had with Nature Boy, and he fucked up when he got into it with King Noble, because King Noble changed his whole frequency up, and he became a patriarchal supremacist after he debated King Noble. That's when I seen the change in him. He was already talking some silly shit, some player shit. When I first seen him, like 5 minutes of his videos, my god brother turned me on to him. I watched like 3 minutes of his video. I was like, why this fucking nigga keep posing for the camera instead of just going in like me? I like to get on a live stream and talk, drop that shit on you ASAP. Then I dropped. So I recently started doing the commercials, what I call the commercials, promotions of the crafts, different services. I do that at the beginning of my live streams, and then I get into talking about what I would talk about. I don't sit up here and be dancing and hula hooping and shit before I get into the videos. I don't do none of that shit. I don't play music and all that shit for you, like before the video. Like if I wanted to do that, I'd do that shit at the end of the video or something. Like I don't understand that type shit. How people be motherfucking 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of bullshitting on a 40-minute live stream that they supposed to be educating you on. So, know what I mean? But Nature Boy be fucking up with, he was getting downloads from the Mothership. He was talking about when I first started seeing Nature Boy a few years ago, it was always about mama. Wah, 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 wah. You know what I mean? Downloads from the Mothership. I mean, the motherboard. No, he dealing with the motherboard or whatever the fuck. Which deals with the technology of the mothership, how the mothership is constructed, the motherboard. I mean, how it operates. So he was getting his downloads and all that shit from that. Yeah, monkeys. I knew he was a weirdo when he said homosexuality is normal, showing monkeys fucking this shit. What through the fucking faggot. Y'all. And what they do, they don't understand about nature. Homosexuality is an energy that is in nature, but it is not natural. That's where they fucked up at. They don't know how they haven't differentiated from what is in nature as a consequence of human interactions and culture and legalisms. What is a consequence of us? Things that are in nature as a consequence of us, as opposed to things that are natural, based on natural law. Natural law and legalism. Law and legalism are two different things. Law comes from nature. Legalism comes from a leg of nature, which is man. We are just a leg of nature. We are here to walk with nature, walk through nature, walk with nature, and walk nature through an experience of humanity. Just so the great nothingness, the mother, can know herself through all of her multiplicities. We are the something of the nothingness, the mind of nothingness. You know what I mean? So, and what they don't understand right now is like, just like I was talking to my cousin the other day about tilapia and all that type of shit. Oh shit, I gotta draw my fucking pen for again. Yeah, I was telling her, I mean, all the shit about tilapia, whatever. But yeah, let me talk about Nature Boy. Yeah, but Eliana and all them right. I'm gonna tell you who really gonna leave, and fuck around and leave with somebody else that's already in the camp, and Nature Boy don't even realize it yet. But Professor Tron, I seen somebody post Professor Tron gonna be the next one to go. Professor Tron is actually in the group Black Heart. It's like four of them that's in the group that's in Nature Boy's camp. They're in the group Black Heart. I don't know if y'all knew that, but they've been in it for a while also. And two of them are the ones that left. Two of them have left the group, left Nature Boy. I believe Eliana is in the group also, but she never comments or says anything or whatever. And Professor Tron is in the group, but he only posts. I think Mosley is in it. So whoever Al Mosley, some shit. He in the group, but Professor Tron is in the group too. But he posts, but he never comments on no other posts. He just posts videos, and he always, of course, they always give their praises to Nature Boy for everything that they do or say, even if it's their own idea. So the problem that I see with Nature Boy is for one, he has suppressed all the masculine energy except his own, and all them niggas is getting bitched out there. And I'm not like I would like to go out there just so I could wait for that moment for him to try to handle me like that. That's the only reason I would go out there and be with Nature Boy, and the fuck his women, and particularly Eliana. Everything that he holds sacred, I would just fuck him, just because. I wouldn't even care to get pleasure out of it or to please them, because I understand that this is what he needs. He needs somebody out there like that, and the only one that's out there that could possibly do that and make him motherfucking back the fuck down is Professor Tron. And I can see, because I see his spirit, and his spirit is real. He really above that shit, but he just humbled himself because he wants that experience, and that's the closest, according to what he knows, that's the closest thing that he could get to being free, according to what he knew to be free, from the concept of wherever he was at when he was in Babylon and shit. So they yeah, and motherfucking, so I see that he might even be the one that leaves with Eliana, or eventually leaves to go be around Eliana. But what happened was that Nature Boy got too. He kept, and I said this before in one of his posts and videos, that he deleted me and blocked me from his page. But Eliana, and I was on Eliana's post talking about some shit when she was doing a live stream on Instagram, I believe, and he blocked me on that also. And in my comment section, and pretty much what I was saying was like, "Yo, how are you getting downloads for the mothership or the motherboard, and you're dealing with Mama Earth and Mama this and Mama that and Mama those, but there are no women that represent Mama. Not only are there no women that represent Mama, the sisterhood is not even strong enough. Whereas the real what I would desire was to have a matriarchy. I mean, of women that I can go to and get all my information from, and downloads and uploads, and get activated and stimulated, and they can just drop some seeds on me, and I'll start to grow that shit and turn it into what it needs to be turned into, and always being qualified by them to do whatever it is that I do. But we need a real sisterhood for that. That's what I thought that he was having when he kept talking about Mama this and Mama that, and being surrounded by all those women. Then I found out that he was really controlling all of them, and I'm like, okay, this is a problem here, because he's not allowing them to connect to the motherboard. He's not allowing these women that he surrounded himself with, these sisters. Nobody's being elevated and activated to equal him. And not only that, they outnumber him. So if anything, at which point do you drop? Are you as a masculine energy dropping enough on these sisters to the point where they should be eventually be able to activate and tap in and tune in? And once they do that and connect to the motherboard or the mothership or whatever it is that y'all was dealing with, that dealt with feminine energy, they would automatically become your superior, and that would be your matriarch. Your council. and then you would no longer need to do whatever it is that you do by yourself, and connect, and then had to keep on teaching them every day, all day, and all that shit, and counseling them emotionally, and dealing with all feminine principle centered energies got to come through you as a predominantly masculine being. These all these women of carbonation should be able to connect to the motherboard or mothership at some point, and then get directly downloads and shit, and start to come up with their and become the council of all y'all masculine energies. Because the only thing that we are supposed, because as feminine energy, they are supposed to be feminine energy is supposed to be qualifying masculinity to be one with them. And the only way you should be qualifying any masculine energy is if they are validating the mother, if they are validating you. If that's not happening, if the validation from masculine energy of feminine energy is not taking place, then masculine energy shouldn't be qualified not to fuck, not to suck, not to do shit except educate, educiate, bring out of you what is in the depths of you. What is in the depths of you is the darkness. What is the darkness? The darkness is that which has mothered the light of your illumination of who you are as a liquid crystal, or as whatever you want to call yourself, star seed, God body. This is what and what's in the darkness is that motherfucking X chromosome, that X factor, the unknown, that mathematical unknown, the X factor, the X chromosome, the matriarch, the mitochondrial DNA, the mitochondrial RNA. That's what you are as an angelic being, masculine energy. You are mitochondrial RNA, embodied inside of magnified inside of a liquid crystal that is predominantly masculine. But mitochondrial DNA, your feminine energy, is something that estrogen is something that there's no filter for. That's the wrath of Kali. That phoenix, when the phoenix dies and goes into its own ashes, those ashes, that darkness is feminine energy that it is also birthed from. That universal nothingness. That's what you should be going to. That's why I don't understand how he went so long with all these females around him and none of them leveled up or activated to the point where they could become his educator. They could become. They were then taking on the role of not only just. Eventually, he should have got to the point of all the jewels he was dropping and all that. His feminine energy should have, all the women of carbonation should have eventually begin to rule carbonation, and the masculine energy of carbonation should have embraced and accepted that, and not necessarily saying Eliana was the predominant feminine energy just because she was Nature Boy's motherfucking woman. It should have been equality among the feminine energy because they should have been on one mind, and masculine energy should have understood that we are not going to be equal with the woman. We are going to be her balance. We are going to be the reciprocal of the feminine energy, and that's where our brotherhood. As far as our brotherhood goes, there should be no secrets. There should be no conspiracy against the feminine energy, or to rule the feminine energy, or to perpetuate supremacy over any feminine beings that are among us that we have agreed and qualified or have validated as God bodies, or whatever the fuck that six shit that they do, and all sex magic rituals and whatever should have been coming through that feminine energy. That sisterhood should have been performing where no nigga own no woman out here, and not only that, they don't even got one. They don't own shit out there. Nature Boy is owning all the women. He fucking all the women, all the men, and they can't fuck nobody except who he allowed to fuck. And then he making everybody cut their hair off just because he getting a bald spot, and he got cut his shit off, and come on now, that should have been some decision that was made by the women. But what happened was they fucked up, and that's why they're going through the shit they're going through right now with the powerful people of carbonation. They cut his motherfucking hair off. They cut their hair off and shit, which disconnected them from some frequencies and shit. So now they got it. So now because they cut their hair off, not saying cutting your hair off is wrong, because some of us need that because of what you've been accumulating throughout your lifetime, and how your antennas is so fucked up and discombobulated that sometimes you need that reset. You know what I mean? And when they got their reset, they motherfucking they had to deal with their true self and their darkness and and they had to deal with dark light. And the dark light was who are they? Who are we really? And what are we really doing? And they cut their fucking hair off and had epiphanies popping left and right, including Professor Tron, who has yet to say anything, but I've seen it in his energy field. He done had that epiphany where he done integrated himself into a burning house. So talk about man being created from womb man, and you're not even womb man. You straight goddess, as in Goddest. The 5 extending to the 6. Yup. The pentagon into the hexagon. Testosterone is a precursor of estrogen. Yeah, precursor is from this reflection of our physical temples back into the spiritual self. Yeah, it's a precursor because we are here now in this testosterone dominant stasis, and we will get back into an estrogen dominant stasis. But the estrogen would not emasculate as though, which is the estrogen is emasculating those that are false prophets and false messiahs, meaning those that are profiting falsely and putting themselves to be the messiahs figures. Estrogen is affecting them. Estrogen is not affecting us who have always loved and respected and treated mama the way mama should be treated, which is all of y'all multiplicities, y'all reflections of mama. Then when I talk about the divine feminine, or I talk about that sisterhood is mama in all of her multiplicities. You are all her emotions, her different emotional states, her energy and motion stasis, static. So the pentagon, when you draw a pentagon, the pentagon is a symbol of, or pentagram, that's a feminine symbol. The 5 points of man that they talk about is not the 5 points of man, masculine energy, it's the 5 points of she. Because man has 6 points. Because that penis acts as the 6th point. So yes, that's the hexagon, the hexagram, 6-point star, the Star of David, the Star of Divide, the Star of the Divided, divide, Solomon, soul of man, seal of Solomon. Progesterone is the precursor to testosterone. Yeah, actually, it's all the same thing. Testosterone is a form of estrogen. Testosterone is some type is an alchemy that has been created by estrogen, so that you're not gonna hear this type of vibe from King Noble. King Noble is good when he talks about the mind, what you got to do with your mind, how you got to think differently in a black supremacist mindset, because black supremacy ultimately deals with the darkness, the nothingness, the truth, the I am that is without, the I am that is within, the I am that is one and none, and there is no other. And how to step into the mind of God, how to be God-like, God-minded, supreme-minded. That's what King Noble, to me, was good for. The philosophy, how to get yourself, unravel the philosophies of man and step into how does a God think? What would God do? What is God really? How does God think to create? What does God do to create? Or why would God create? Why is God God? Why is this all this type shit. That's what King Noble is good for me. But when it comes to how I speak on feminine energy and about the matriarch and all that stuff, King Noble don't vibe. He not feeling that. So, it's some things a lot of things that I talk about is things that I talk about, and no other being talks about. No other being has talked about it until I talked about it, or on YouTube or whatever. I commented in people's comment sections and shit on our YouTube videos years ago. And now they are talking about things as though they had some type of direct situation. You know what I mean? I'm going to do a part 2 to this video. I got to use the bathroom real bad. And I need to eat something. I haven't ate anything. I ain't even brushed my teeth or nothing yet. And I lost my sawak, my tooth stick. Desire for perfection in this dimension is why the Most High created man. Yeah, that's where the 7 comes from, because it deals with how you dealing with a God, a masculine God. You eventually get to You elevating and elevating and elevating. Eventually, you get to a point where you're cut off because God doesn't allow you beyond that point. The masculine God, the patriarchal God, doesn't allow you to go beyond that point. So now you gotta level off, taper off. That's that 7. That's why 7 is the number of God, and God, which deals with Asmodeus, the bottom point of the Earth Kingdom, the bottom point of the Kabbalah Tree of Life. You know what I mean? The Green Man, Asmodeus, and the Jolly Green Giant, and all that type shit. But I'm about to go use the bathroom and eat. I'll do another live because I want to finish talking about Nature Boy. So I got y'all. I'll try to do that. Much love.